Hey folks, Nathan here from Star Wars Beyond the Films and Cloud City Casino, a Star Wars gaming podcast, both of which are on StarWarsReport.com, bringing a look at new Star Wars Armada products after release. This is the new campaign expansion, Rebellion in the Rim. Just like its predecessor, the Corellian Conflict, it is $30, and I must say, I feel like this is the much stronger of the two campaigns. I'll talk about that a little bit later. I usually don't include much in the way of review-style content with these. I definitely will, at least a little bit, for this one. We're taking a look at the contents here first. So as before, we have a map, a vertical map in this case, with our different regions. Right, their different colored borders there. If you're curious what this actually means, there's your key. Okay. We are going to be using stickers again, this time for presence and bases, but not for outposts. So we have our presence ones with kind of the corner, the diagonal corners there, and sort of your cardinal directions there. You've got your base stickers. We are then going to have our fleet rosters here. Okay, 6 of those. And then we have a team roster, 2 of these. Now the team rosters, they're all in that little baggie. Team rosters, blank on the other side. Fleet roster, you'll need the information on the other side as well. They are all set, so permission is granted to photocopy for personal use only, or you can just download them and then print them. And then we have our campaign guide, which is effectively the rule book specifically for this campaign. Duh. So what's the premise here? Take command in the Rim. Imperial and Rebel Alliance fleets clash in the galaxy's lawless regions, where the spark of rebellion has grown into a raging flame. From the expansion region to the Mid-Rim and Outer Rim, these systems are filled with vital allies and resources. Only the most skilled and clever commanders will lead their forces onwards to crush the rebellion or liberate the galaxy. Join your friends in a crucial struggle for the fate of the Rim. Rebellion in the Rim allows up to 6 players to fight in a campaign spanning multiple Star Wars Armada fleet battles, in which you'll create a custom commander to lead your task force. Victory depends on developing your commander's abilities and working closely with your teammates. From small engagements to pivotal battles, the fate of the Rim is in your hands. A little bit of preview of the contents there, and the content list. The campaign guide, 2 team rosters, 6 fleet rosters, etc., etc. We're going to look at all of that first. We have some obstacles here. We have dust fields, a gravity rift, purgils, and exogorths, that is, space slugs. 2 of each except the gravity rift, which is just 1. Lots of ID tokens here. We have 8 main ship ID tokens in gray, and then 8 regular ship ID tokens in gray. We have 8 scarred ship ID tokens. We have the gray main flagship and regular flagship tokens for both Rebel and Imperial. We have 8 regular gray squadron ID tokens and then 10 scarred squadron ID tokens. We then have 8 squadron discs, but we'll deal with those here momentarily. We then have our 4 raid tokens, proof of purchase there, 8 proximity mine tokens, and 16 of the so-called veteran tokens. You got 16 here. I'm showing you both sides, though, the readied and the exhausted sides, but they are all the same, just double-sided. 2 of the ally tokens, and 4 of these new destiny tokens, 4 repair yard tokens, 7 resource tokens, 2 diplomats, 1 Imperial there on the left, 1 Rebel there on the right, 4 Spynet tokens, and 6 skilled spacer tokens. We then have 28 upgrade cards, 3 each of proximity mines and reserve hangar deck, then 2 each of expert shield tech, advanced transponder net, linked turbo laser towers, take evasive action, auxiliary shields team, and weapons battery techs. Then we have 4 titles here. We have Corvus, Harrow, Vanguard, and Liberator for different types. 2 Imperial, 2 Rebel, of course. Then we have Commander Woldar, Iden Versio, of course, from Battlefront, Commander Vanto, of course, from the Thrawn novels recently, Sabine Wren, Captain Rex, and Ezra Bridger in their Rebels incarnations. Then we have 1 station card, armed station this time. We have 6 fleet condition cards. We have 2 low fuel, 2 low supplies, and 2 low morale. Those are things that can have detrimental effects to you, obviously. We then have our irregular squadrons that we saw those discs for, of course, and now we get to actually see who they were. We have Lando Calrissian for the Millennium Falcon, Mart Matin for Sato's Hammer, Kanan Jarrus for the HWK 290. Why? Who the hell knows? That's Kanan Jarrus, not Kyle Katarn, but whatever. Then Malihira for the Skurg H6 Bomber. Then, oddly, for the Imperials, for Slave 1, we have Hondo Onaka. Makes sense for Slave 1 because he had it for a while, but he's an Imperial? Okay. You know, he's shifty, sure. Moralo Evolve for the YV666. IG-88. B for the IG-2000B. And Tel Trevira for the Jumpmaster 5000. Then we have our many and varied objectives. Mark for Destruction, Rift Assault, Ion Storm, and Surprise Attack. Abandoned Mining Facility, Rift Ambush, Asteroid Tactics, and Fleet in Being. Yeah, Fleet in Being. Volatile Deposits, Infested Fields, Doomed Station, and Hyperspace Migration. Then we have our campaign objectives. Hired Scum, Holonet Override, Pilot Defection, Recruit Allies, Prototype Recovery, Steal Supplies, Double Agent, Volatile Cargo. Then our 3 base defense campaign objectives, base defense fighter wing, ion cannon, and armed station. So there you have it, folks, the contents of Rebellion in the Rim. We do not have any new actual minis to go with it, just like with the Corellian conflict, but what we have here is a more robust expansion, at least in my opinion, if you're trying to play any type of campaign. It's like they took everything that really made Corellian conflict kind of lackluster, and they beefed it up. They listened to the community. So, for instance, Corellian Conflict is going to have you playing with ships in a fleet of 400 points. Rebellion in the Rim is designed for task forces, which basically are 200 to 250 points. So they're faster games, smaller fleets at any given time. The general structure remains pretty much the same. The play space needed is altered. The fact that you're playing task forces means that many of the games are played on a 3x3 surface, kind of like a game of X-Wing, as opposed to the bigger surfaces. Although you do have pivotal battles, no more all-out offensive, but pivotal battles played in a 6x3 type of scenario. The pivotal battles, by the way, now are not any kind of campaign win or lose type of thing. They're just major parts of the campaign. And what's really cool that they've introduced with the commanders, as you got there from the description on the box, you gain experience points as you play, and your commander can get commander abilities. 3 tiers of each type with different choices that can be made within the categories of engineering, espionage, gunnery, logistics, navigation, and squadron tactics. Then, of course, there's a guide in the back to the locations like there was in Corellian Conflict. It just feels like the fact that the original campaign, it was kind of like, okay, you're carrying your damage forward. There's a little bit of good stuff to carry forward. But by and large, it was just, you're just playing a sequence set of games of Armada. What really makes it feel like a campaign? Where is the experience building and that sort of thing? We want something more robust. They took that, they listened to it, and here we've got Rebellion in the Rim that actually manages to do that. Now, don't go crazy here. You're still playing games of Armada, just of different sizes, and you're doing it with up to 6 different players pairing off for battles, minus the pivotal battle and whatnot. That said, it does feel more like a campaign. I mean, this is not going to be anything that's going to feel like playing, say, Imperial Assault in campaign mode. But I would argue it's going to feel like it has more impact from battle to battle than playing one of the campaigns, for instance, included in one of the epic-sized ships in version 1 or first edition of X-Wing, for instance. So Armada, from a campaign standpoint, has kind of come into its own here. I'm not sure where they go from here unless they just do the same thing with just some different cards twisted around. But at this point, we just need more friggin' ships for Armada, because they sure haven't put out many of those. But for those who are looking for it, Rebellion in the Rim is a good campaign option for Armada. I would argue it is better than the Corellian Conflict. It does more of what you would expect from a campaign, and it is out there available now.